found some good fights. They brought that experience parity back, and it really looked like they had a chance.
That they can't beat LG. It feels like every time they run into LG, they feel like this, which leads me to believe they would need to try something that LG has not played against. They would need to play something, not even that's wholly Peru. Maybe that's something they've tried a few times in a few practices. Maybe they've played it together on ladder and have figured something out. I don't know if the tried and true Peru that absolutely dominates some teams in the UCS can take down LG. It certainly hasn't yet.
Yeah, again, they kind of, I don't want to say cookie cutter in a negative sense, but they're so good at the strategy that they have that it's really hard to peel yourself away when every time you do it, you're like, oh, we're getting second in the world. We're getting, second at this tournament, third at this tournament, finals here. But the thing is the team they can't overcome is the one that is uniquely great against what they try and do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see the next pick here. We have an early lock-in for the Leafeon and Mamoswine once again. Two powerful picks, obviously. That Leafeon was real slow to get online for Peru. It just felt like they didn't get the value out of it they would have wanted, which would be to, early get in there, tons of damage with Leafeon, put the pressure on at level 4. They just weren't able to make much happen.
Yeah, I mean, right now, everything is the exact same it was from game 1. So Peru, they either need to switch up or do a strategy switch up, and we'll see what that actually looks like here. We'll find out in these next 2 picks. We already have this Armor Rouge selected. Buzzwole is a decent changeup because Buzzwole has been good all weekend, and Overlord now grabbing Lucario back the other way with Mew rounded out by Otter. I'd like to see Lucario do something at this point.
Yeah, same. In fact, I even thought Lucario was all right on the side of Peru, but it just doesn't seem to win games. Now, given how well LG has been playing all day and given how well they play into Peru, I think they could have a pretty wonderful game in front of them. Almost everything the same for both of these squads, but we're switching some things up. Of course, the biggest being the Buzzwole steal from the side of Peru.
Yeah, so we literally just swapped these all-rounders here. Buzzwole for Peru, Luminosity on Lucario. Is that going to be enough? Could it be theoretically? We have seen Buzzwole take over some games, Cowboy.
It really does.
So, I mean, maybe that is part of this success. Is Luminosity really that concerned? I don't know. I honestly don't.
I'm not sure. They don't seem like it. I mean, we get to see them, obviously, right below us here on screen. We are looking at the players, and while Peru is very locked in, ready for this next match, they know they have a tough game in front of them. It's all smiles on the side of Luminosity. I don't think there's another opponent they would rather have in semifinals, honestly.
I think we got a nice view of Team Skull, I believe, is who that is, from the Alola region. Is that correct?
You know what? I'm going to take your word for it. I didn't ask.
Listen,
them what their
if I
team
didn't
was.
ask, I could have said that with all the confidence in the world. I would have been right.
I bet you were right.
I mean,
I'm hearing from production you're wrong about everything.
That was wrong?
Everything?
That can't be
all
everything.
show.
All right.
Heading into game number 2 here, Luminosity, your purple team, Peru, your orange team. Down 1 game right here to LG. The winner of this Doob Snacks makes it to the grand finals tomorrow in the arena for Championship Sunday.
Well, after they win this one, they need another one if you're LG. And if you're Peru, you need to get 3.
The winner of this best of 5 is what
baby.
I mean.
We're going all the way to end out the day. Slash quickly getting some points in. Why not? Curios is there, and they're going to see if they can bully this path again. They did a decent job last time, and why flip the script now? I mean, you used the players to your advantage. Is Overlord going to make Lucario work? That's my question.
Yeah, that is a question right here, and it actually looks like Anemo is going to get that early advantage, right? Leafeon amazing at level 4. Lucario needs that level 5. So they were actually able to make something happen right there. Production said nothing.
Right by proxy.
I don't even know what that means.
I was correct by proxy then.
That just means that once again, we're casting productions on break.
Per usual.
Yep.
Per usual. 850 birds about to populate. Curios rolling through, and we've got a 4v4 up top. Good punch by Overlord. Immediately eviscerated by Anemo. Slash, half their HP is gone. Dual wing beat creates space, but not allowed to follow up his trainer because of the Razor Leaf.
Really great stuff from Peru, right?
Yeah.
This is what you want to see from Leafeon. You want to be able to get that early advantage. You want to make sure that you can use that to slow your opponents down, and they have. Overlord, however, coming in, trying to make something happen here. With the extreme speed, they do pick up a KO on the support.
So we've got a bit of a difference here. Obviously, Overlord using that extreme speed. That's not the direction that Peru Unite went with Lucario. We need to see if that's the difference maker. Otter using those light screens, trying to get away from tempo, and picks up the Bunnelby and just beats you down with the hair.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. And once again, Leafeon continues to push forward. This is what Peru needs. This is what they were missing from game number 1. If you're picking Leafeon and you're behind, everything has gone horribly wrong. But that is not the case here for game number 2. Leafeon much more in control of that top path, already level 8, which means they have that early Unite move.
Yeah, I mean, outpacing Trainer, right? And Trainer, the other game, again, was ahead in this moment. And you have to wonder, is the strength of Buzzwole what facilitates or keeps from facilitating Anemo from taking over? And it seems to be kind of the song we're singing here in game 2.
Well, the question is it the strength of Buzzwole or the weakness of Lucario? We won't know until this game is over, as we have the birds here for 720. We have Leafeon deciding when they want to come in, not able to take them back with the Ice Fang. Really nice full heal right there, but they are going to continue this push.
Slash able to pick up a couple berries. Ice Fang reposition. Here comes Trainer. They're trying to get Draken down, popping their Unite move. Scoring in the background is Zainus. Anemo running away. To a wing beat there. Razor Leaf is down. Tons of power through that Pokemon, and now it's a KO streak of 3 for Anemo.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here from Peru. This is exactly what they need to be doing right now. Overlord moving in, using that extreme speed to make their way through this fight. They're looking to pick up the KO, and they do. Regice getting very low right here, and Slash gets a KO. Regice now going down to Luminosity.
Draken on the backside, Kea there as well. They easily take the basement Reggie because Peru is no longer willing to commit to it. Meanwhile, we do have the Buzzwole working on Reggie Alecki up top. Kea goes down, can't get a berry despite walking towards it. And now that might be the turning of the times Luminosity needs, because they have now taken the experience advantage despite being down 100 on the score.
Yeah, they're down on the scoreboard. They had a rough early game right there, but with Lucario making their way down to this bottom path and picking up the objective, LG is right back in this thing. Overlord with the Unite move. We have a Unite move on Trainer as well as Mew for the side of Luminosity. Peru, 3 Unites, and we're going to see if they're going to use them in this next fight.
Draken.
Obviously the Pillars one. Yeah.
Draken just turned the wrong corner there. 3 players waiting for him. Now it's a 3v2. Kea needs to pick up Zainus. Zainus needs to run away and try to get some spacing here as they're going straight for them, putting the pressure on. Nice Moonlight out of Clefable, going to top off Zainus a little bit, and it's enough to bully out Luminosity, so not a bad defense as Draken is now back in the mix.
Yeah, this was great. I mean, just 2 members of Peru able to hold off that push there from Luminosity. Still up on the scoreboard. Luminosity with only 38 points. Game 2 looking a lot better for Peru.
Absolutely. We're trying to take that contestable farm. Is slashed in the face of 3. Unsuccessful here as we have a big rotation by LG.
Yeah, LG heading to the top path right here, looking to start a fight. Trainer deciding whether or not they want to move in, and it looks like Tempo able to get a good defense right there before going down.
Yeah, I mean, Otter sacrificing themselves to bet space. Kia is trying to get to the team, but now they find out everybody's already knocked out, and Moonlight on a body is not worth anything here as that goal zone is closed out. That score lead has shrunk, and what separates these 2 teams is a merely 8 points.
Yeah, 133-141. Luminosity right back in it after a beautiful push here. Level-wise, they are now starting to outpace Peru, so the early advantage that Peru has shrunk almost entirely, and these 2 teams are about dead even as Luminosity heads towards Reggie Steele here in the bottom path. Slash trying to zone them out before they move in.
Looks like Overlord might try to drop on top of their heads here. Earthquake engaged by Draken. Attempt doesn't find anybody. 2-step on top of Overlord, but now Trainer gets the follow-up, and they're actually boxing them out on the chase and in the backline. Cannon out of Overlord, and they're looking to E-speed through the team. The gravity is down, which just shuts that down for just a minute, but the rage continues. Buzzwole tries to pop their Unite move, but it's 4 players down, and there's just too much strength in the unit that is Luminosity when they're just collapsing on top of your head.
Yeah, Nemo gonna run away from this here. Otter trying to keep track of them to make sure that they are not able to score, steal some of that experience. Nice play right here. Are we able to pick up the KO though? They do. Curios now moving in. You might get 2 for the price of 1 right here if they're not careful. Nemo waiting here in the tall grass, but here comes Trainer to help.
Yeah, exactly what they're trying to do. Just bait, bait, bait. Now, Anemo's in a tough spot here. This is a decent KO for Trainer if they can close the door on it. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. They're pinned in the corner. Two-step doesn't get anybody, and that resource is expended, but it's fine. They'll get it back in time for Ray.
Yeah, they were waiting as long as they could in that moment, right? They were praying they were able to get that Unite move back and maybe pick up a huge KO, but their HP was already too low with 3 members of Luminosity chasing them there. Reggie Alecki is walking towards the side of LG, but they're going to clean this up pretty quickly right here. Level 14 on the Scyther, once again running away with this match. Might be 15 by Rayquaza.
Otter does go down, but something special out of Otter's Mew is the way that they rotate through all those different attacks. That big surf creating space so Overlord and Slash could get out of there was pivotal. Yeah, give up Otter. Make sure that you save those two.
Yeah, Otter, I mean, their Mew is so incredible. They kind of created an entire new Mew for players to use, which was support Mew. Able to play in still as potent of a way as a Mew that would be carrying normally. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Everyone here towards Rayquaza a lot earlier than you might expect. Overlord is trying to see exactly where Peru is.
Okay, Slash kind of caught out, chipped up, knocked up. They're low on HP. Flamethrowers down, but they get knocked out. Tempo repositioned on Overlord. Mewtwo Y Unite. The damage is out. Is the follow-up there? Trainer ripping through them, and Nemo goes down. And now the firepower for Peru has been exhausted.
Yeah, it has, but they're looking towards this Rayquaza. It looks like they want to make a fight happen here, but look at Mewtwo Y just absolutely ruining them with those auto attacks.
Using that Mega Stone at the right time. Pressing them down. And of course, that bought enough time for Overlord to get out, who's caught in a Clefable gravity. They're able to walk away and reset. Now they're getting back into the fight, and Peru needs to figure this out.
Yeah, Peru has to figure something out. Rayquaza actually did not end up resetting. The HP is still about at half as Kaya's in some trouble right here. We have Luminosity pushing them forward, but Rayquaza still being chipped enough to not reset on HP. It looks like Peru's trying to find a steal.
Now they're coming back through. Knocked out is the Mewtwo Y, and now they have to push back forward. The res is there. Peru took it. Peru took it out from under the nose of Luminosity. Peru has a great opportunity to score, and it's looking good.
It looks amazing for them as only 2 members of LG remain standing after that fight. Beautiful play from Peru right there to constantly chip at Rayquaza. Make sure that it did not leash and regain all of its HP. Once it starts doing that, it's going to be really hard for them to get it low enough. However, keeping it low that entire time allowed them to go for a great race here, which they were able to do. Minutes still on the clock though, Dupes. Next 2:23, 5:76. 1 member of Peru now down.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically still possible, but it's looking grim here for Luminosity Gaming. They need to fill their pockets up, hopefully grab a couple Unite moves on their way, and they need to start crashing goal pads. I see a Clefable hanging out up top, and the Emerald 2-step doesn't get a knockout, but it does force out the Aura Cannon. The pressure's on, and Nemo's taking a ton of damage. Draken, are they going to Earthquake in? They do. They don't get anybody, but at least they're on pad to defend. Tempo steps into the flow, pops their Unite move, looking for a new target. Scyther Unite move back the other way. There is not enough in the tank. There's not enough time left, I don't believe, as we are still cruising through. Clefable back half is going to be just the icing on the cake here for Peru in Game 2.
Now, Peru has not given up yet. They still want to head to those grand finals. They want to prove that they are the best in the world as they take down Luminosity in Game number 2.
Talk to me about that Ray fight, Spraggles. What did you see there? How did Peru navigate that?
I loved it. Peru continuously chipped at Ray, making sure the HP never recovered on it, opening up an opportunity for them to move in. They ran in with the Armor Rouge Fire Spin. They threw everything they could at it after Rayquaza was already under half. Really great play. And, as always, Lucario loses.
Yeah. You know, where's Blaziken?
Yeah, great question.
You know, we're talking about if they're... I think the theory is Lucario is, on paper, better than Buzzwole early.
Yeah, and way better than Blaziken early.
Totally fair. But if you're going to let a Nemo crash and get a big-time knockout anyways, wouldn't you rather end the game with a Blaziken than Lucario? I don't know, Spraggles. That's why I'm in the booth.
I gotta say, I mean, Trainer looked pretty amazing once again on this Scyther, but things went a lot better for Peru this game. I think their Leafeon was absolutely on point in game number 2, giving them the advantage that they needed, which actually let them keep pace with LG for so long. And here's that moment where Ray still is ended up, you know, getting chipped, They move right in. Harbor Rouge with the fire spin, making their way in. Buzzwole with the secure. Multiple members of Luminosity down.